Here we go. Welcome to the Alabama Aristocrats, a weekly conversational podcast from the South about the South. I'm your host, Ben Rudolph, and with me is my very best friend and devout Southerner, Zach Duggar.
Peasants, derelicts, and ne'er-do-wells, drag yourself from the gutter and join us here every week for the very best in Southern tales, history, anecdotes, and idioms.
It's September 1st. It's fall, y'all.
Get your pumpkin spice.
Adam makes landfall. Football actually starts this Saturday, and the Bondurants go to prison. Sort of.
For a little while.
Here we go. We have big news.
We do?
We have our first sponsor.
Oh, yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Public Pursuit. Dedicated waterfowlers that spend their time hunting public lands across the Southeast with a greater passion than your typical weekend warrior. They want quality gear. I absolutely love these guys. They got journals, leather bound, fancy.
Love the journal.
I do too. And they've also got a wine journal. I mean, like, this is fancy. I mean, made for aristocrats for sure.
Absolutely.
We'll be posting this on our social media, but you can check them out at Public Pursuit on Instagram and thepublicpursuit.com. Also, you probably have Google Box, so just Public Pursuit and you will find them.
Type it in your phone. You can manage it, I promise.
I love physical journal. Like I said, they've got the hunting journal, so you got the weather reports, what kind of day you had, bag limit, all this kind of stuff. A couple different versions, but they also have a wine journal. Love this. I mean,
that'll probably benefit me a little more than the duck journal, but
sure.
I like it a lot.
It's made for the aristocracy. Absolutely. Cool. So I'm going to get us some of those, and then we're going to work with them to get a cigar journal.
There you go.
There you go.
We need that.
That'll be the next thing. So then you just have your pile of journals here, and while you're drinking and smoking, you log everything, and you keep up with it.
And be writing,
and then you're on your way to being an aristocrat.
There you go.
Thank you so much to Public Pursuit at Public Pursuit and thepublicpursuit.com. Check those guys out. Anything big happened to you this week?
I sprayed my yard for some army worms.
Yeah, but ask me.
Oh! Did something big happen to you this week?
It did. Yeah, something big happened to me. I got a rug at redacted thrift store. I'm never telling any of y'all about it, but honestly, that may be my new thing. I'm a rug guy.
You'll be a rug guy now.
This has been
it held the room
huge. Just every time a rug gets misrated upon in this city, I'm to be held at blame. I'm telling you, dude, I'm going to start taking these to the fucking bar with me. Just like a rolled up rug. Be like, what do you think about this, baby? And she's like, that's a sweet ass rug. I'm not kidding. 25 plus messages, mostly from women, a couple dudes. They'd be like, damn, sweet rug, bro. I'm like, thank you. We're adults. Ain't nothing gay about that.
No.
It was.
It's okay if it is.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Okay if it is.
But that was, I'm into this rug. I'm not telling where it came from, but I'm a thrift store guy. A lot of the stuff that I get for our podcast room comes from thrift stores. This thing is freaking sweet.
Do they have more awesome rugs, or was this the only one?
Again, redacted. Sorry. But
gotcha. Even I'm not privy to this information.
We're rolling, so no. All right. Thank you so much for being here again. We've had the outpouring of support. What the hell? I mean, our friends are assholes. I did not expect them to be like, nice job. They've
Seriously?
actually been like, it doesn't suck.
Must not be that damn bad.
That's what I thought. Wow.
Huh. I'll be darned.
I've had a lot of people reach out. They're like, you guys were funny, did a great job. I was like, well, we'll get better over time. This is much harder than we thought it was going to be. And we knew it was going to be hard.
Yeah.
But it still is a lot of time, a lot of effort. And, we just think we're funny. We're not really that funny.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just because we laugh at ourselves doesn't mean everybody else does. I think they're laughing more at us than with us half the time.
And that's fun.
Yeah. I mean, as long as I'm fooled, it gives me a good old confidence boost.
Absolutely. But I mean, seriously, like I needed a bigger head. Like this has been awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I already think I'm pretty great.
I did. I had a lot of you reach out, and we super appreciate it. Again, we've got Instagram, Facebook, social medias, websites, all these. I mean, we're 21st century modern American.
We all
males.
up in there, baby.
Oh yeah, big time. So again, thank you very much for all the good
praises.
God damn, that is what we like. That is
thanks and praises.
Thanks and praises. All right, let's roll into segments. In Southern news,
we have Hurricane Ida makes landfall as a Category 4 storm this week. Hit New Orleans right in the mouth.
That is not good to hear. And we know every year around this time, naturally, it does happen, or there is some scare of it. We hate to see this again.
Yep.
Last year, Orange Beach, Gulf Shores got it. A lot of our farming friends have been affected by this. We certainly hate to see that. I tried to call Casey today and didn't get in touch with him, so I'm assuming they're just blowing and going. But I don't think they got all the beans out. And I know another buddy of mine, John Rich, he told me, he literally sent me a Snapchat. They had 30 acres of beans left, and he's like, the rain's coming. We literally can watch it skid across the sky.
It's moving.
Yeah. He said it was still standing, though, so, maybe they'll get another chance to get it in November.
I mean, as long as it's still standing, it's half the battle's won, I guess.
Yeah, maybe it'll dry up in the next couple of months.
Wait for the ground to freeze.
Yeah, right. Shit, all the cotton farmers going to be that way because I think they're addicted to it. They like going until like Christmas Day, and then so they can complain about it.
Oh yeah, yeah. We had to pick right up till Christmas. Why? You got $4 million in roller pickers over there. I mean, what are you doing?
Well, ground's wet, man.
Man, it was sloppy out there. Good cotton, though.
Did y'all never get that cloth running?
Nope. We wanted to get it in there today. Everybody was really, really excited about it. But at the end of the day, it just doesn't make sense to start on a crop and get to cut a bin full with a hurricane coming.
No, not at all.
It just doesn't.
And
doesn't add up.
Somebody that has run, or at least stood there and watched people run grain bins, like loading and unloading those things. That's for the bees.
Yeah.
Or the birds, birds and bees, but it's terrible.
Right. Yeah. It's not the most fun thing in the world. So you don't want to have to deal with it.
Well, getting back to Ida, yes, we certainly hate to see this happen. I know the eye has moved a little bit, but, something that we're very passionate about is, fuck Red Cross and FEMA because it's government operated. Do your homework before you give money to people. We did a little bit for you. Who'd we find?
Operation Barbecue Relief.
That sounds right up our alley.
Absolutely. I saw this and was immediately like, we got to find this. After doing a small amount of research, because it didn't take long, it actually came about from the 2011 tornadoes right around the end of April that greatly affected this area.
Absolutely.
And also Joplin, Missouri.
Missouri?
Which is where they were founded.
All right. They don't really know how to barbecue in Missouri, but...
Not nowhere near as well as we do.
They possibly are good at 501c3 benefits around barbecue. That's what we're hoping for.
But so what this is, though, is it's all volunteers. So hopefully the
pit master, the guys running the pits are actually from the South.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we hope that they're from Alabama. That way that you can get, the best barbecue.
Real barbecue.
But, at least be from... I don't know. Tennessee does fairly well.
Yeah, somebody. As long as it ain't that fucking mustard sauce from North Carolina. Thank you.
Chopped and chipped and mustard sauces. I don't know what y'all are doing. I don't know what you're doing.
Negative.
Neither do you, obviously.
Anyway, back to this amazing charity that actually does good work. They do have a website, which is easy enough to find with the Google box, and then they have a GoFundMe. So all you got to do is go to the website, Operation Barbecue Relief. Click on donate. Give them a little bit of coin. As of the moment that we recorded this podcast, they have 4,000 out of their $20,000 goal and already boots on the ground, man. They're feeding rescue workers. They're helping people out.
Awesome.
That's what you like. This is awesome.
That is what you.
This
like
is
to
not
see.
a CEO that makes $600,000 a quarter or whatever the shit, and it's not Goodwill where everybody in the C-suite makes a couple million a year. Like these are blue collar guys that like to make barbecue and help people that help people.
Yep. And when you just had your whole life ruined, a nice big warm plate of barbecue is a whole lot better than a cold bologna sandwich from FEMA.
People helping people. People helping people. It's a beautiful thing.
What we like to see.
Again, real quick, fuck the Red Cross, fuck FEMA. We don't want to rely on the government here. Give money to people that help people. That's very serious. And as always, do your research before donating your hard-earned money. We set up a pod, or what they call a pod fan, and buy me a coffee. And we're looking at how to do a Patreon page, the right design. What that actually could we bring benefit to you for throwing us a few bucks? We'll get to that later. Go give a few bucks to this hurricane relief because this is bad news. We know a lot of people that are going to be affected by it, and it's oof. We go through it pretty regular down here. We know how bad it sucks, but we always show up. I mean, the South shows up.
The worst things about living in the South is we do get into some pretty rough weather. It's just part of it being so humid and wet down here all the time. The sky gets a little mad at you.
Yeah, it do. Also, this is not a sports podcast, but football is actually back.
Yes.
Buddy, I love you, but I was so friggin' mad at you Saturday because I got up early, did my run-ins around, had all this stuff prepared. I'm like, all right, do I have the right attire? Is it going to be too hot? I have to work anyways. It's not a big deal, but I'm searching out, I'm getting all this lined up. My 2:30, I got to be ready to go at 2:30. Do we have this? Do I have that? And then I can't find football at all.
Yeah, I fucked up.
You did. You fucked me. I had to pretend to give a shit about Nebraska, Illinois to get my football fix because football doesn't start until this Saturday.
Yeah. This Saturday at 2:30 is when actual football returns.
Yes.
Real stuff.
To be fair, you were correct. They did have game day.
Yeah, there was college football on.
Yeah.
Just nobody wanted to watch it.
God, Nebraska sucks.
Man, that was terrible. That was a little hard to watch there.
But anyway, Alabama plays this Saturday, 2:30 Central Time. The U. So that'll be good, hopefully. And if it's not, then the season's ruined, and the podcast will end. And
y'all won't hear from us anymore.
We're done.
'Cause I'm jumping off a cliff.
Okay, it's time for the mail call.
Ooh, mail call.
Mail call. I didn't get any pigeons or St. Bernards. However, I had another friend reach out. He said this case has always really occupied my attention. And it was Terry Floyd Word versus the state of Alabama. This is, just after reading a short synopsis of the case, whoa. All right, so Sunday night, September 14th, 1980, Blank's house in Limestone County. So-and-so was there. Several more people were there. Somebody calls the phone saying they're white trash. They decide to all load up in pickup trucks with shotguns and pistols and ride up the hill. They went up there.
Them boys was going up there.
They went up there.
Who was that?
Get in the truck.
Get in the truck.
We're going now.
We're going up there.
We going up there. And they went.
They went up there.
And a couple of them got pinched. Few of them maybe got time that actually didn't do the trigger pulling. So we don't know. I've got to delve into this case, but this is Terry Floyd Word versus the state of Alabama. I'm intrigued. Not a true crime podcast, but it's Southern as hell.
There's just so much crooked shit that goes on down here involving the law.
Law don't go around here, law dog.
We'll kill you and throw you up a mine shaft.
I got 3 mine shafts up his holler. I had a friend reach out and she's like, I have no idea about any of this and I'm already so intrigued. Like, I want to know why the Bondurants are the way they are. I'm like, that's the question. That's what we all want to know. If you missed last week, here's a recap.
Pete and Pat Bondurant, 2 larger-than-life twins from Elkton, Tennessee, are suspected of murdering many people. But We are talking about the 1986 murder of Gwen Duggar and some other murders as well around that time. Their conviction and definitely a botched investigation. And what and kind of how it went about.
So we got all the way up to the point of where they killed Terry Lynn Clark. Terry Lynn Clark. So Gwen was the first one that got traction because that was the first murder. Gwen Duggar was the first murder where people started getting involved.
That's right.
So I've actually had a few people reach out since the airing of the first episode, be like, hey, so and so actually knew them pretty well. Mm-hmm. My so and so was down there with them with this, and I'm flabbergasted at some of the things that I've heard already. I've got to verify a few things to see what I can actually go into because, naturally a lot of this is hearsay. Gwen Duggar was killed. Then Rodney Gaines. Was it Rodney? Hippie?
Yep.
All right. So, and then Terry Lynn Clark because she was supposed to be an alibi.
To testify.
She was supposed to
testify as an alibi.
Or at least talk to the cops, so they killed her the night before.
No, she was supposed to testify in court.
Okay. Well, come to find out, the whole deal with Rodney Gaines was that he possibly stole.
Not Rodney. Ronnie.
Ronnie. Okay. I thought that sounded wrong. Okay. Ronnie. I'm sorry. I don't have any notes in front of me. Ronnie Gaines was the guy they worked with or that Pat worked with at the rubber factory.
Yes.
They were playing cards with him. He probably came around a little bit, naturally. They accused him of stealing a wallet. One thing that got brought to my attention during this past week was that, they don't know that he stole the wallet. And I can't remember if it was Pat or Pete's wallet. But they accused Ronnie Gaines, hippie, of stealing his wallet. The reason they thought he stole the wallet was because he would cheat him at cards. They called him cheating at cards. I was like, all right, if somebody will cheat me at cards, they'll steal my wallet.
Yeah, he must have the wallet. That must be who got the wallet.
Yeah. All right. So Pat and Denise are no longer officially together at this time, but they still see each other and talk all the time because the boy had a son together. He had cerebral palsy.
Yes.
The Social Security check that came to the old farmhouse. He didn't cash it, I assume most of it to her or something like that, take care of the boy. He told her the Social Security check came in. He had it in his wallet that was stolen. He told her nobody steals from my crippled kid. They were playing cards. He knew he'd cheated him. So he assumed he stole the wallet. And now he's stolen from his kid. So he loses it, beats him to death with, I believe it was like a child's rocking chair at the house.
Okay.
And even mentions the point like, I didn't leave. There wasn't hardly a piece of wood left over by the time I was done with him, like when he's bragging about killing him.
And apparently Pete was there as well.
Had to be. I'm sure he was.
But it says that both of them were convicted separately of the beating death of Ronnie Gaines. So I don't know. It's like I say, this is so
it's weird.
Foggy. Like it's not us going back and forth. That's literally that's how the case reads. So Ronnie, they actually found Ronnie's remains scattered and burnt and buried in several different places.
Oh, that's right. And how they only did like a couple inches deep in certain places.
It wasn't very far.
For all the effort they went through to get rid of Gwen, they really didn't do that good of a job getting rid of Hippie.
Mm-mm.
And then when they killed Terry Lynn Clark, they got her messed up, and then
they called the police.
Stuck a needle in her neck to finish the job off, either with a hot dose or an OD, and then called the police.
Yep. Saying that she had done it.
Obviously
she'd OD'd or something. Yeah. And she didn't get to show up for court that day.
Clearly, the cops are already horrified of these guys because the word is that I'm hearing about even more, which we kind of knew. I'm even more convinced now that there are multiple murders that these guys have committed during this time frame because they're talking about, there ain't no telling how many people they killed.
Yeah. It's they're suspected of quite a few. I know. I mean,
if the fucking police are this scared to come down there and even walk around on the property,
yeah, the lead investigator wouldn't even hardly show up. And
they did more than kill a couple women.
You no doubt about that.
I heard tell of them being like chasing some guys down, pull them over in parking lots, and another guy that was with them jumping out and be like, stop, guy. Like they flipped them off, trying to go around them and all this. The Bondurants chased these boys down, flipping them off, jumped out in the parking lot ready to kill them. And other dudes stopped them and then told him, like, please, guys, I'm begging you. They're going to come kill you. Don't do this. Get away now. And that's one reason he thinks his boys are alive.
Yeah, that's wild.
Then they go, all right, so they get arrested like big boy style. Like cops roll in. They're no longer living at the farmhouse, by the way. That was just a rental.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just rented that, and that's just where a lot of the
debauchery
took place. Yeah, there you go. That's the best way to put it. And
by the way, you got to think, old Mr. Turner, I wonder if old Mr. Turner, the farmer, was alive on this place, rented it to him. Who was in charge of renting this to them and was like, don't worry about them. They good people.
He's alive.
Still?
Yeah. Ooh. I'm pretty sure, because I know at least, if not the initial person is alive, one of his relatives still owns that place. I know that. Because I know people that work there.
Yeah.
So
I'm just curious if he's like,
I need to ask him about that.
When they were living there and be like, just leave them alone. They'll go down there. They pay their bills on time. I don't know. Like,
yeah, but that was the thing. Like, it almost seems like around Elkton, around Ardmore, we wind up with a whole lot of don't ask, don't tell. If they not making a stir, don't stir them. It's not that big of a deal. Just keep it hush hush, and if it's out of sight, out of mind. Yeah.
And again, like we've said before, these are the drug people. We're not worried about them. They just in there doing their thing.
And it could have been that I'm not carrying my ass down there and kicking them out.
That's true. Cops is that scared.
I don't give a damn if they pay or not. I'm alive. We're all alive. You know what I mean?
Shouldn't have let them move in, but we did.
I mean? Things are good. It's fine. Maybe they'll leave one day, and if we're lucky, they'll burn the place down.
Well, that's one thing they talk about. They went in with, it wasn't ammonia. Well, they go squirting everywhere. Luminol or something?
Luminol is how they find blood. And
so they go squirting this everywhere, and they're like, holy shit, it's the blood in this place.
Place lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah. And back then they couldn't, prove anything. They were just like, damn, there's blood everywhere.
Right. It's just in the,
like, there ain't even scatter plots. There's like just red, just blood everywhere. Cause they've been, they in there slaughtering cats trying to have a good time at a party.
Yeah. Sitting there drunk, pull a cat's head off.
Well, this is what we talk about with, I told you I had that friend reach out. She's like, I've got to know why they were this way. We want to know that too. These people aren't calculated murderers. They're just had it pretty good growing up. Daddy was a little bit rough. Fuck, whose daddy wasn't a little bit rough?
Seriously.
That's everybody's daddy around here, a little bit rough.
In Tennessee or Alabama,
daddy a little bit rough.
Probably a little bit rough by other people's standards.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so he was a little bit harsh. They got picked on. Fuck, we all did.
Yeah.
But they just got hardened together and decided to start handling shit themselves.
Yeah. I don't know. The more I look at this, and I don't know that them getting picked on really had a whole lot to do with it.
They tried to make it out like that was a real thing. I'm like, dude, you're talking about kids 250 pounds in school. They were trying to choke dudes to death in 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot you were going to really do to them.
No.
But this, the behavior like that starting so early.
Yeah.
It just leads me to believe that maybe some people just are born fucked up.
I mean, for sure.
And they
grew up for what be around here.
You want to blame it on, but maybe that's just the way they were. I don't know. I mean, it's baffling.
It really is. I mean, socioeconomically, they were middle to upper middle class for Pulaski in the time.
Right.
Hell, Mom worked at school, or they were both
their parents were military contractors.
And she ended up teaching at school system.
Yes. I'm going to say worked on the arsenal. Probably like everybody
else. That's what I figured.
I
mean, like everybody else around
here. If you're a military contractor, even still, you probably work on the arsenal.
Yeah. like I said, it's baffling. So they get arrested.
In 1990, yes.
They lawyer up, as of course they do. But, I mean, they've been running around saying whatever. I mean, they think they're untouchable. I mean, they bad.
Yeah.
Hell, they're running around. We tell you, old boys carried those cartridges around.
Yeah, he carried the shell casings around, the 22. They were 22s. That's what
I know. And also, that ain't even that impressive, pal.
Yeah.
You know, like, all right.
Man. But yeah, he carried shell casings around in his pocket and called them. He'd pull them out and just kind of roll them around in his hand like dice, and if try to intimidate people.
Yeah,
and
I bet he was up at the country club doing this kind of shit.
I would say so.
I wonder if
I'd say so.
I wonder if David knew him all right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know enough. I should have asked, I guess, but I don't know if they really came around there that much, and especially if they were allowed to be around there.
Another good
because,
question.
At this time, Gwen had recently, her and her husband had recently divorced.
Yeah.
And which would be my uncle's son.
Yes. And
so I don't know. I mean, who knows?
And
that was one of those places like you were either allowed to be in there or you weren't.
And
so,
slapjack was coming across the face if you wasn't.
If you weren't allowed, you weren't allowed big time.
Big time. Well, I mean, hell, I remember Daddy bumped into his truck one time, and I mean, that motherfucker was scared to death.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I remember being a kid and be like, what is going on? He's like, I just ran over his truck. Like, we got to go. Like, we go back inside and like sit down. He's like, David, I got to talk to you. He's like, man, I bumped into the truck. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it.
Yeah, he was not that kind of person.
Didn't care at all.
No.
But
we will definitely we will have to get into that place and talk about him and all his exploits. But
because he wasn't the type of person that let a bunch of bullshit like what the Bondurants do go on around there.
No.
It was a little bit rough, but
I would have to say that knowing their stories and knowing him and then that place, they probably didn't frequent there very much.
No.
Probably went in there some, but I would say that it looks to me like they spent most of their times at the farmhouse or at wherever they were living at that given time, throwing parties. That seemed to be their thing. It's like they wanted to be the center of attention.
Yeah, that goes back to sitting there eating pounds of raw meat, burying cats and running over them with lawnmowers and shit. I mean, like, oof.
That's just, I mean, it is bone chilling to think about. And that's the toughest part, I think, is it's something that nobody has ever understood in the, 35 years since her murder, or these murders. That, I mean, nobody's ever understood it. It didn't add up. There was no real motive, no nothing. It just was. It was just another day. This is just what happened.
At first, the way it's made out to be is that Denise got out of the situation to better herself. And then she goes off and finds love with this guy, but he secretly doesn't tell her that he's an undercover cop trying to find out information for them. Bull butter. She's dating a cop who's like, let me get you out of this.
Right.
And this is a couple years down the road. It's like, now the shit's popping. And he's like, all right, you're going to be a part of it. You're going to be accessory.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. They're gonna talk to you.
They're gonna talk to you. You probably killed this chick anyway.
Yeah,
there's a good chance you had something to do with it. So he's a cop, gets her out of it by formulating this story and like coming forward and be like, if you sing, we'll get you immunity.
Yes.
So don't kill people around people that aren't your blood. That's apparently a thing.
Rule number 1.
Yeah, it's got to be up there. One of the higher rules.
Pretty close.
She's gone, hit the road, dating a cop. Husband and brother are murderers. And she knows all this. Like, she was there when they're killing people, burning them, throwing them in the rivers and all this kind of stuff. And now she's telling everybody exactly where everything is and pinning it all on them. Their defense is she did it.
Yeah. What if Denise walked in that night? And they were in there having sex with Gwen, raping her, whatever they were doing. And she did get mad and she popped her in the head twice.
Oh, I firmly believe she took axe handle to her.
Yeah, or that, or she's the one with that. And then they were like, man,
compassionate compassionate Pete was like, well, damn.
Right.
Put this thing out of its misery.
I mean, what if that's what happened? We'll never know.
The psyche of this whole deal is very much like, you're going to have the same wealth as your friend group kind of stuff. You're going to kill people if the people you hang out with are murderers.
Right.
I love you, but I want more money than we got, so I'm going to get better friends. But
seriously, yeah, I'm going to have to find some friends with money because this isn't working out at all.
Yeah. Denise sings.
So, yes, Denise sings, and that leads to the initial arrest of the twins in 1990. Because Duggar's body was never found, the Bondurants only received 25-year prison sentences.
For that conviction. And that's all they could pin on Pete.
Yes. So that's all they were able to pin on Pete was that, and then the accessory to murder of Ronnie Gaines and Terry Lynn Clark.
Look, I know about double jeopardy, but I also know about rap sheet. Where they're like, hey, remember when he killed those two fuckers in Ohio? That's how they say it up there. Ohio. Not Ohio. Or Ohio. Or Ohio. When he killed them two guys up there, did literally a nickel. It's like, oh, I'm going to did 5 years up in Chino. Well, gets out, comes down here.
How many did he kill? Two. Where's he from?
Yeah.
No, get him the fuck out of here.
Push him on. Get him on out of here now. We crowded, all right. This costs money to feed him.
We can't. This is too much. Have you seen him? He's huge.
You go eat your cornbread.
He takes up a lot of space. He eats a lot.
Damn, he'll probably kill somebody over some cornbread.
The shit he takes in the toilet is unreal.
We can't make no potato moonshine in there.
Yeah, we can't make no toilet wine out of this.
Speaking of, thank you so much for getting a better whiskey.
This week's whiskey comes from
not Tennessee.
It actually comes from Ireland. It's delicious. Smooth.
So they get these guys in court, and you talk about some nonchalant sons of bitches up there. They both wearing white shirts. That's a picture I posted online so when they get arrested. Or they're in court that day.
Yep. That was their uniform to court every day.
White
according
shirts, about to bust out of the buttons, and them little bitty
suspenders.
Overhauls. Yeah, they got them galluses on. They did little bitty things.
Yep.
That's a word of the day for you there. No,
Galluses.
I doubt many of you know that one.
I don't know how to spell it.
I don't either, but we got Google boxes. So they're up in court. Every time something gets brought up, just sit there dead-eyed, not looking. By the way, I've heard several people around here that went to that court dates.
Oh,
whoa.
I used to work with a bunch of them.
Whoa. Said they wouldn't even look at them.
No. Yeah. Rough stuff, man. Just cold.
It's like, all right, how long are we going to have to do this time?
They said that at lunch that their mom would go to Kentucky Fried Chicken and get a bucket of chicken apiece for them.
God dang.
And bring it back, and they would just sit there. They said there were people that were just like, man, the way they would eat it was just kind of crazy. They just go through a whole bucket of chicken apiece, just no time. So that was every day at court, and I guess they were probably in court for a week, something like that.
Hell, I want to talk to people that was in prison with them.
Yeah, man.
Speaking of, they get their sentencing. They were up in Tennessee somewhere, but I think they were at different prisons. They get, this is just, it infuriates me that the judicial system lets this guy out. This happened when 2016.
Yes, he got released in 2016.
Pete, the baddest of the bad one, Pat was the nice one that was working on his retirement.
According to, yeah.
Yeah. The good old boy factory worker. He's still in the pen. I got to think if I'm Pat, I'm pissed at Pete.
Yeah.
Hey, bud.
I would be.
Yeah.
Because, he'd be like, hey, man, what the fuck?
Drive a tank through here and get me out or something.
Do something. Help me here. I didn't do all this by myself.
One of the creepiest parts in that oxygen documentary we talked about, at the end, that person in silhouette that we cannot figure out, she asked the producers, like, Pete's out. You know where he is? It's like, yeah, we know. We think we do. Where is he?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's that close.
Yeah. Rough.
You know he's got to be like outside Nashville or some shit. Like he ain't far.
Right. I don't know.
Hopefully he doesn't have Instagram and listen to podcasts.
Maybe not.
All right. So as we've talked about numerous times, there's more in this case, this story, than we could ever get into in just a couple simple episodes. And that's not really the point of what we wanted to do. We're bringing something forward, bringing it to the light. Mm-hmm. We're not journalists. Never claimed to be big J's at all. This is just kind of interesting story. Now you know a little bit about it. Yep. We're going to wrap it up a little bit. You can dive into this case text more. You can see what's going on. There's a lot.
And it changes directions 1,000 times.
We just wanted to kind of tell a story. We're not trying to do a true crime podcast, lay into the detail. We're just telling you kind of about it.
Yeah.
And now we're into this thing, and, we're already making a second episode about it. I really just want to wrap it up and kind of lay it out because, man, the more I read about this, the matter I'm getting at Denise, the fact that she's not in prison is ridiculous. At one point, she tells the court that they strewn the body of Hippie up at the parents' house in West Point. By the way, their mother was going back and forth to Germany, coming home once or twice a year because she's working for the government over there. So, like, she had an apartment over in Huntsville, and she would come back to Pulaski sometime or West Point sometimes. Like, we're not talking about just, like, hill folk.
No, these are
well-educated
people.
Yeah, and then just these two sons of theirs that happened to be together in the womb are extra strange. Yep. Dad's debilitated by this point. The boys are kind of taking care of him. So when they get arrested, she's got to quit working out at Arsenal or doing whatever she's doing in Germany, all this kind of stuff. Go back to taking care of the dad.
Yep.
They got another sibling, lives up in Delaware. He's got multiple kids. Works for the health department or something like that. Not social worker. I think he's a social worker.
Yeah, some government office.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, and then they've got another sister out there as well. Perfectly fine members of society, apparently. I assume. I don't know. I don't know anything about them. Don't want to make any passing judgment. No, nothing.
The way I read everything and understand everything is that everyone else in the family has never shown behavior of this kind.
Fuck, this is weird.
And they apparently started with this behavior as young children with animals, and it evolved into humans later in life. Is the short story. As terrible as that is, that is the short story.
Well, not only that, but they end up getting tied in with this Denise person who, maybe she hasn't killed anybody else or been a part of another killing since then.
She's got blood on her hands.
For sure. Literally to the point where she shows up one day to get money from him at the rubber plant. Mm-hmm. He pulls up. There's blood on the back of the car, and she mentions it to him. She's like, you got blood on your bumper. He's like, all right, sit in the car, act like he's sick. I'm going to run inside. What, some paper towels? I'll be back. He throws her some paper towels, and she drives her, wiping her face. She's sick and all that. He gets the blood off the car with the wet paper towels then. They're divorced. She's dating this cop. They're still seeing each other multiple times a week, exchanging money and stuff, which I get it, got a kid, but she's running them up to West Point to take care of business. I'm almost certain she helps them bring the body of Hippie back down to town because they had it up West Point and they got nervous and wanted to bring it back to town with them. Mm-hmm. So then they scatter the body, what was left. They burn him again, is what it says. And because they chopped him up, originally, it didn't take as long to burn. So in the police report, they're like, well, it was burning a day and a half later? She's like, yeah, the last time we burned a body, it took over 3 days. So this one only took like a day and a half, 2 days because we cut it up.
There's too much. This is too much.
It
is like, I don't know. I'm sorry. Denise is playing a lot bigger part in this than I thought she did. She's playing a lot bigger part in this than I thought she did.
Hell, I'm getting worried. She's gonna find out about this podcast. Come take an axe handle to us.
Yeah, I didn't.
I'm not as worried about Pete's ass being out of prison anymore.
I'm more worried about Denise never went.
Seriously.
Okay. Wow.
All right.
So like we said, a lot of information. We're gonna have to revisit this.
Yeah, and with the amount of people that have, I'm serious. Multiple people are reaching out and be like, so and so doing pretty well. I'm like, no shit. Like, yeah. Like this has happened several times. So you need to talk to them. Yeah. So we might have to come back to this later. I don't know how much I want to get tied into this story. I'm already overly involved. This is not at all what I want this podcast to be, but it's just super interesting. We've got a lot of, let's go tell about Waffle House or something, Right. Let's take a break from the insanity of these murders.
Yeah, we did not want to just have a whole true crime podcast and it be only murders and suspense and all this. We wanted some lightheartedness and all that about it.
Yeah, I want to joke a little bit like, damn, Mrs. Heavy.
There's a whole lot of really funny, awesome, great things that go on in the South too, not just crooked cops and murder.
Yeah. Let's get to some of that stuff. All right. Thank you so much for following along with this. The story's been intriguing. We've told a little bit. I'm sure we'll tell more. We're going to bow out of this story at this point. The brothers did not and are not serving the time they deserve. Pat's still in. Hopefully he does not get out. Pete is out of prison and walking amongst us. There's a beast amongst us.
That is.
But there's also the beastess who we should be worried about still.
I think we should still be worried about her. I really do.
Oof.
Yep. We're going to have to just put it on pause for now. Gather up a little bit more information. That way we can deliver it a little better to you.
Yeah.
Because it deserves being told
properly instead of with our half-ass attempt.
Because it just keeps unfolding so much. If we don't take the time to step back, look at it, and do it the right way, then this is going to be half-assed, and y'all don't deserve that.
Yeah, man.
Hell, we way too damn fancy to be doing it that way.
Yeah, there's already a couple hundred of you downloaded this. Like, damn, we big time now.
Come on.
All right, thanks so much for following along with this story. We're going to take a short break and come back to you with a wind down and a little more information about next week. Thanks so much. All right, thanks for sticking around with us. Again, we want to say thank you. Share if you want. Reviews apparently are a big deal in podcasts, so go write a review about this.
Write a review. I'd love to make fun of you.
Yeah. And then also, like I said, we've got Insta, FaceSpace, email. Send us something. Send us some information. Slide the DMs. Tell us what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear. I don't care if you tell me that or not. We're going to do what we want to do anyhow. But we do have some good stuff coming up. We've got some pretty cool things planned. We don't want to give away too much, but we're getting a lot of help. We're getting a lot of suggestions.
We have gotten a lot of great suggestions from some friends and stuff, and I'm glad because they're stories that I'm familiar with, but just totally, we got so much going on. I totally forgot about, and I'm excited to get to revisit some of that stuff.
So because we're so ingrained in the area, we can't help but talk about other things that we know about that maybe many of you don't. Now, I know there's several local people that are listening to it, and thank you so much, but also there's a good bit of you that have no idea any of these people.
Right.
So what we were talking about with David Duggar, who is your uncle, great uncle, something like that, great uncle. He owned the country club in, I guess that'd be Ardmore, Tennessee. It's still Ardmore, yeah. Because it's on this side of the side of the highway.
Proper right there, baby.
Yeah. All right, so we're not talking about like 18-hole golf course, prestigious type thing. We're talking about, it's called the country club because it's a members only when they want it to be members only.
That's right.
It's a dive bar. It's old honky tonk.
Yeah, absolutely. It's honky tonk from the word go.
Yeah.
That was its purpose.
Jukebox, couple of pool tables.
Absolutely.
Best
music.
Local band or two playing there. And like the most famous for Wednesday nights before Thanksgiving.
Yep. It was a great party. Got goat stew and one free keg of beer. It was usually PBR.
Huh.
So you had it was free goat stew and $1 beers.
Okay.
And
you couldn't usually move in the damn place.
No, absolutely not.
So Country Club is where we started drinking when we were redacted. But there were times when we could and times when we couldn't, kind of depending on who was in there, stuff like that. It's like, I'm not going to work tonight, boys. Y'all got to move on. Every once in a while, they'd let us take a few with us to the road, something like that. But
depending on who was in there, we would either get y'all can't, or you get your ass. Like, we would get thrown ass out. Like,
well, I mean, like,
it was more of a show, I think. Yeah. But
then we had to go on the other side of the interstate,
Hey, but DC never let us know.
Shit, that one time he kicked your ass out of it. It's like, so Zach was a little bitty fella.
We still got to buy beer, though.
We got the beer, but he was a little bitty thing back then. And, I've always been a fairly decent sized boy. So it was either B or a couple of other ones that would go in and get it, and he would sell. He didn't give a shit. But then you walk in, and you looked every bit of 12 years old.
Just needed to be able to see over the counter, which I couldn't.
And he's like, boys, that ain't going to work now.
Y'all can't be bringing kids in here.
God darn, kids. Well, so he made us buy our beer and leave. We couldn't drink it in there.
Called us his Ardmore trash.
Yeah. No, we
love that man.
It was funny, but this rolling into this story again. I want to be done with it for a little bit. It's gotten to be quite a bit. We're gonna definitely revisit it, but
it has been intense. We've gotten a lot of information.
Yeah,
and we've got a lot more. So we'll come back to it. But like. We've talked about you could go to Pete and Pat's and you could get anything you wanted. Mm-hmm. Like, it was just apparently DC's was kind of the same way, but it was a legitimate store.
I know you get anything in there.
Apparently you could get, if you just knew what to say and how to ask, you could get
it.
Yeah. Huh. He had it underneath the bar right there, or in the back.
What a shame.
We
spent our entire
things we missed out
on. I know. Damn, that is a shame. I want to add a few things here before we wrap up. Please, Hurricane Ida is just getting started. It's going to be bad. Most people, there's a lot that are going to be fine from it, but there are a lot that are going to need help. Figure out a way to help the best you can. Operation Barbecue Relief is who we're choosing to support. Naturally, we say fuck Red Cross.
And FEMA as well.
Oh, yeah. Government stuff.
Because that's just terrible. But Operation Barbecue Relief, we think is great. Armed with a caravan of cooks, mobile pits, kitchens, and volunteers, Operation Barbecue Relief delivers the healing power of barbecue in times of need, feeding first responders, communities affected by natural disasters, along with year-round efforts to fight hunger through the Always Serving Project.
Oh, shit. That's awesome. Hopefully we'll become a little more involved with this, and we'll definitely put up some information. Our very first sponsor, man, this is badass. Public Pursuit. They jumped on board. They're like, man, and to be honest with you, I was like, dude, you want to sponsor? We have like very little. He's like, I feel like it's a good investment if y'all take off, and hell, it's going to be on there forever. I'm like, that's a good point. Maybe we become hot shit one day, and by hot shit, I mean like hotter shit. Yeah. Public Pursuit, they make some amazing journals for hunting to keep up with all your stuff. I love that leather, bound, like it's nice.
Yep.
Fancy stuff. Very aristocratic.
And I like the way everything is just very laid out and labeled for you. It just makes it really easy to
little reminders.
Want to get in there and do it.
Yep.
It's pretty neat. I really like the wine journal. And like you said earlier, I think we need a cigar journal now.
That is going to be the next wave. So we're going to get them headed to the cigar journal, and then we'll have our wine and cigar, or maybe all whiskey combined, libations and smoking journal.
There you go. ATF.
yeah, exactly. What guns were you shooting? What whiskey was you drinking? And what was you smoking?
There you go.
But no, again, thank you so much to Public Pursuit. They can be found at Public Pursuit. And also thepublicpursuit.com. Again, you should know how to use Google by now. Check them out. Cody does a great job. I actually went to Vegas with that guy. He parties.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, I'm really excited that they came on for this. I think it's gonna be cool. And I also was told he doesn't know that he's advertising.
Oh, good.
So this is a surprise for him. So we couldn't post yet, but we will post during the week.
Awesome. Well, I hope you're listening, and thanks for your money.
And again, when you once we want to help with the hurricane relief, but once that gets dialed down, we're going to make a few drives to get a little bit more because we do need some new equipment. We want to have a few people in on the podcast and be able to do that appropriately. We do want to get a little more lighthearted, tell a few neat stories. I've got some great suggestions with friends. I've got a few people that I want to bring in. We have got nothing but blue skies ahead of us, I believe.
I think so.
Dude, as long as Denise doesn't kill our ass.
Yeah, I think we're,
Oh, yeah.
I think things will be looking up. But seriously, though, I think we've got some great stuff ahead. We've got endless stories. Just that,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you could sit here and tell about
outside of stories,
virtually nothing. But
I didn't want to. You know me, I don't like to bitch and complain. But
far be it for me to.
Far be it. What was it she used to say, or the English teacher we had in school?
Perish the
thought. Oh, is it perish the thought?
Perish the thought.
Anyway, I was not going to get into this, but it's a heavy heart. I got caught off by a goddamn minivan earlier today.
Oh my God.
I understand the pros of a minivan. It's easy to load in. You mob of fucking kids. I loathe the amount of disdain that I have for minivan drivers and the amount of you pathetic cuck for letting you and your wife get one of these together. I just lose all respect.
I don't know. Yeah, man, there's nothing.
I feel like we're dividing the crowd, but
that drives me crazy like a minivan. And like I say, if you're listening to this in a minivan, I'm sorry that.
Thanks for following along.
Yeah, thanks.
Drag yourself from the gutter, like we've said from the beginning.
Yeah, get yourself up out of the gutter. Get a Suburban.
They make goddamn SUVs. I mean, I understand
like,
they're hard to get right now, but be thinking about it.
Yeah, get something else. Because
but your fucking Odyssey cutting me off and not giving a shit while you play around your fucking cell phone, I'm sick of it. Do they honestly, when you show up to buy a minivan, does the guy say, "Come with me. Let's take you out back to make sure you're shitty enough of a driver to be allowed to buy one of these god awful, hideous wastes of space"? I can't stand a minivan. And everybody that tries to defend them is always like, "Dude, you hadn't been in one. They're the accessories, they're economical, they're this." I don't care.
Yeah, guess what? I have been in one.
I have been.
My mom had one.
Yeah.
My parents had one. And right now, Dad, if you're listening, you fucked up.
Pathetic.
That was the worst
I hope he's
vehicle
not
purchase
listening.
you have ever made. Please don't fucking kill me. You're a lot bigger than I am.
Yeah.
But no, it was the worst vehicle purchase you've ever made. I'll stand by that.
Remember when that dude almost killed us on the way home? Was it Batman and Robin we were going to see? They had that.
Yes,
that was a minivan. That was a minivan.
It was.
He reached around and grabbed Wade's eyes, and he couldn't see, and nearly ran off the road and killed a carload of us coming home to see a Batman movie.
That was a good old Pontiac Montana.
Oh my God!
White with that crushed red leather, crushed red velvet. Excuse me, crushed red velvet.
Candy paint with a white on top.
I believe the rims were even white.
Good Lord!
Because we're talking, this was 96,
mids, yeah, mid 90s,
6, 7, 8, something like that. What a wonderful piece of automotive artwork. Said
God.
no one ever.
Yeah,
don't buy a minivan.
Can't believe Pontiacs aren't made anymore. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, we had the Trans Am, and then we made the Aztec and the Montana. Why? What'd you do that for?
Man, I don't know. I was infuriated, and the lack of giving a shit. By the time that and by the way, I'm gonna let you know if I'm unhappy. I wasn't like, it wasn't like I eased around this person calmly and reserved. I'm over dramatic. It was.
You're getting a look in the finger.
I don't use the finger. I get the finger used at me. I never use the finger because I always prefer to use laughter when they do it because that lights a fire.
The look is the worst.
Yes.
The look will kill
They didn't even
somebody.
look over. I'm literally trying to cut the nose off this piece of shit Odyssey, I assume. I just assume everything's a Honda Odyssey. I don't know.
Or a Dodge Caravan.
Or the, what's the Chrysler one that was so junky?
Pacifica.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, I nearly clipped the front end off this van, and I think this person was oblivious to it the whole time.
I swear, I don't know what it is, but you can take a perfectly normal operating human being who has never faltered in their life, sit them behind the seat of a minivan. They lose everything.
I'm telling you,
Totally
I think
forgotten
you
how to
have to
drive.
pass a test of stupidity to be able to purchase one. It's unfathomable to me.
Ugh. But all I got to do is push this button.
And the door opens.
Oh,
my God. Dad.
And Cheston can get out.
Briley and
go to
Braxton can all load up. Jeez.
I hate it.
I do too.
Make them go away. And all the things that we've eliminated, and all the great, wonderful automobiles that we have eliminated over the years.
Yeah.
We axed the fucking Trans Am.
There's not really
And
American muscle. We've got the...
And we kept the Caravan. I mean, I know those are two separate companies.
It's more feasible. It's more logical.
But you know what? I don't think GM has a minivan. Do they?
You know, I don't know.
Anymore.
The last thing that was close was that...
I mean, the Pontiacs are dead.
Yeah, but remember that it was that thing that was like longer and squattier than the Blazer.
What was that?
But it was like that similar size, Enclave or something.
Envoy?
Was it an Envoy?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Those weren't terrible. They just weren't good.
Yeah, that's not a genre that I pay a lot of attention to.
No.
I can't.
We don't really have American muscle anymore, though, do we? I mean, we got like that little Dodge thing.
It's better now than it has been since the first era of American muscle, because you've got like Dodge has their Hellcat and Demon lines, which are pretty.
They're actually pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, they're actually pretty
I mean,
cool. Yeah.
If you got to own a Dodge, you might as well own that one.
Okay.
And then Chevrolet does really well with the Camaro.
That's
the
right.
Camaro is doing
That's
great.
actually legit. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got some great ones. The ZL1, and man, that's a really nice.
Okay.
Really nice.
We cars have been on the top of my brain since so we did Third Friday in Decatur not so long ago, or last Third Friday, and they do a great job with that. And now they really don't, but it's fun. Now they're trying to hit everybody, all the businesses there for money. Asinine, absolutely asinine. What are you gonna mafia style extort the businesses that are open? Yeah, come collect from me.
We'll start shutting the streets down at 7 instead of 9. How about that?
Yeah. Good luck.
Which is the stupidest thing I've
It's
ever
probably the person who brought this forward to everybody drove there in a fucking minivan. I promise you that.
seen. Guaranteed.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for playing along this week. We've had a great time. We hope you get a little bit out of this one. We're coming back at you with some new material next week, and a little bit lighthearted, less murder.
Less murder.
Less murder.
For sure.
Again, we are the Alabama Aristocrats. I'm your host, Van Rudolph.
I'm Zach Duggar.
Thank you so much for playing along. We are the Southern Aristocracy.